Germany. So that's why I'm doing this class at the afternoon hours here. This is my special little yogi friend. Hi, say hi, Margie. Awesome, this is wonderful. I can't see y'all, but again, please tell me where you're viewing from. I'm going to get started here in just a minute as more people chime in. So my name is Joanne. You can find more info about me on my website. That's www.yogitayoga.org. I listed that in the title today. We're going to keep it short and sweet. So just get our bodies moving, reconnect to our body and our breath today. Hopefully relieve some stress and tension. If there's anything that you're taking care of in particular, please modify, make your adjustments, remembering that we practice ahimsa, or nonviolence towards ourselves and our body. You can gather up some props around your house. You don't need yoga props necessarily. I have a bath towel. I have a little quilt and a blanket. I have some throw pillows, a bed pillow, and I do have a yoga block and a meditation cushion that I'm going to use in my practice. But you can also use blocks, whatever works best for you. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm going to try to put out more videos on my YouTube channel. I just created it. I have some kids videos, prenatal yoga, and any requests. Feel free to make those requests. So let's get started. I'm going to have us start in a seated position. So I would highly recommend sitting up on something. If it's more comfortable for you to do the seated postures in a chair, you can just grab a chair from around your house and sit up on that. If you are using a chair, I would ask that you sit towards the front of the chair. We want to avoid leaning back, but we still want to create a lot of space and length up the front and back of our spine. So this is an option. Otherwise, take your pillow, your cushion, yoga block, folded blankets. I'm going to place the cushion behind me. So it's important that we center before we start moving and practicing our asanas and pranayama. Find a comfortable seat. You can take Sukhasana, crossing at the shins, Siddhasana, heel to heel alignment, or any other position here in your legs that feels best for you. Adjust your clothing so you can adjust those waistbands. From here, I want you to find your sit bones, literally reaching around and shifting the flesh out of the way. And then I want you to ground both sit bones equally into your prop. Hands can rest down on your knees or thighs. If you'd like to take Chin Mudra, our seal of wisdom or knowledge, you bring the index finger and thumb to touch. The other 3 fingers are extended. Resting the hands down on the knees, palms up, generally a little bit more energizing. Palms down, a little bit more grounding. And then begin to float the centers of the ears over the shoulders over the hips. If you need to make adjustments, make those adjustments in the beginning so that you can find stillness in the end. And I know practicing from home can be challenging. That's one of the many benefits of practicing at a studio. We're forced to be there for a certain amount of time. So do your best, but I'd really like you to give yourself the next 45 minutes to an hour to be centered, to be in your practice, and try to avoid any outside distractions. So let's come into the body, sitting up nice and tall. Closing the eyes and redirecting our attention inward so that we can begin to let go of all those outside distractions. Checking in with the body, let's lengthen the crown of the head upwards towards the ceiling. Soften the muscles of the face, unfurl the brow, relax our hardworking eyes. Poof your cheeks with air, wiggle out the mouth to let it relax. With the lips softly touching, release the tongue and lower jaw to gravity. Relax the throat. Lift and lengthen from the navel center up the front of the body, into the heart space and across the chest. Lift and lengthen up the back of the body, vertebra by vertebra, creating space all the way up through the spine. Maintain this lengthening and lifting as you relax your shoulders, the weight of your elbows, and the weight of the hands on your knees or thighs. Maintain the posture in the upper half of the body as you begin to soften and release the hip creases, the hip sockets, relaxing down the legs, through the knees, into the ankles. Relax the feet and the toes. Maybe notice where your legs are touching each other and all of the contact points with your body and the props and floor below. As we're taking inventory of our physical body today, if we come across any areas that we might be healing or taking care of, let's pause on those areas for a moment. Send a healing breath into those areas. And as you exhale, let's allow those areas to relax. Remembering that every day is a new day. We're all here for different reasons. And we practice our yoga without judgment, competition, or any expectations that we may have placed on ourselves for our practice. Continue to maintain this posture. We'll begin to spread our awareness to the breath. Simply begin by observing and watching your body breathe in. And observe and watch your body breathe out. Ideally, breathing in and out through the nose as smoothly and evenly as you can. Observe the quality of the breath today. Any subtle movements of the body. The difference in temperature between your inhale and exhale. And maybe any sound that is generated by the breath in the body. We'll try to relax and deepen this breath, practicing a few rounds of belly breathing. So at this time, I'd like you to shift your concentration in and around the belly and the abdomen. If it helps you focus, you may place one or both of your hands on the belly at this time. Continue to maintain the posture through the whole body. On your next inhalation, I want you to relax the belly completely and allow it to expand like a balloon. On your next exhale, gentle contraction of the abdominal muscles, drawing the belly in towards the spine. As we inhale, belly expands. The body creates space to breathe in fresh air, prana, and energy. On our exhales, gentle contraction, drawing the belly in, helping to expel stale old air and energy. Take a few more rounds at your own rhythm and pace. We're actually trying to breathe more with our diaphragm here. So on those inhales, when the belly expands, it allows your diaphragm to drop down, pulling that breath deep into the lower lungs. And on your exhales, when you contract and draw the belly in, it helps lift the diaphragm up, again, to help push the stale old air and energy out of the lungs and body. Let's all try to take one more round of breath. On your next inhale, I invite you to take your biggest breath of your day so far. So with inhaling, expanding, filling yourself all the way up to the brim, as much air as you can take in comfortably. Our exhale is just as important. So when you get to your next exhale, take your time. Exhaling, exhaling, exhaling. Empty the body completely. Every last drop of breath. At the bottom of that exhale, we will release any control or effort of the breath. Let the breath go wherever it wants and knows where to go. Spreading the awareness back to the physical body, just noticing and observing your posture, any sensations or feelings, without labeling any of it good or bad. We can keep the eyes closed. At this point, draw your palms to touch into Anjali Mudra in front of the heart. Humbly bow the head to the heart. Maybe setting a positive intention, mantra, or even a dedication for our practice today. We'll practice palming, so if you are wearing glasses, just take them off or modify. Take both of your hands and vigorously start rubbing them together as fast as you can. So we're trying to create heat in the hands. And once you feel that warmth, you'll make 2 cup shapes with your hands and seal your eyes off. We're not pushing on the eyeballs, but instead we're creating 2 warm, dark pockets for our hard-working eyes to rest in. Wonderful pose, especially nowadays that we're staring at screens a lot. Our eyes get tired. If you're reading or anytime your eyes just want to take a break. You may also take your fingertips and kneaded massage into the forehead, across the hairline, the temples, and the cheeks. Palming is another nice way to transition our awareness internally back into the room and the external world. So as you're ready, gently flutter your eyelids back open, bringing your awareness back. Big breath in. Exhale, release the arms. So we have been in a seated position for a while. I'm going to give us a quick break. We will come back to a seat. Those of us sitting cross-legged, make a mental note of which foot is in front. We tend to sit the same way all the time, so I am going to want us to switch up the cross of the legs if it's available. Float those knees up, stretch your legs straight out. Continue to draw the low belly in so your upper half of your body can be in more of a Dandasana pose. Point and flex your feet a couple times. Flat palms or fists. You can punch or massage up and down those legs. Hi, Margie. Margie's coming in to check in on us. Yeah. Hi, baby. What a good girl. So when you're ready, I want us to come back to a seat. Place your opposite foot in front. Again, sit up nice and tall. So we're just going to start some basic movements here for the upper half of the body. These movements we should do every day for the health of our spine. So sitting up nice and tall, draw low belly in, reach your arms out to the side, palms up. Take another nice big breath in, float your arms up, stretching the side bodies. Turn your palms out, exhale, float down. So Margie's showing off her up dog and her down dog right now. Let's do one more. Big breath in, hi, honey. Exhale, float it in, hi. I know you're gonna jump on me any second. Upavishta Trikonasana, keep your fingertips extended down to the ground. As you inhale, float your right arm up beside the ear. Keep that right sit bone rooted, belly in. Exhale, we'll lean it over to our left. So we're stretching the whole right side of the body. This is lateral extension. You're moving in this lateral plane. Let the head be an extension of the spine. Breath is flowing smoothly and evenly. Options. You can take your drishti down to your left hand and bow the heart downwards towards the ground. That will stretch more of the back of your shoulder and upper back. You may also spiral the heart up towards the ceiling, drawing that tucked shoulder back, taking your drishti up towards the ceiling. And for 1 or 2 more breaths, just kind of explore seated triangle pose. On your inhale, I want you to use your muscles and pull yourself up out of the pose. Both arms are going to reach up. Exhale, float your fingertips down to the floor. Inhale, left arm up beside the head. Root that left sit bone. Draw the low belly in, and you'll lean laterally in that plane over to your right. So the whole left side is stretching. The more you push that hip down, the more you'll feel this length through your waist, your rib cage, the shoulder. Head, just a natural extension of your spine. Couple variations, a little bit more flexion. So I'm gonna look down, take my drishti down to my hand and stretch out the upper back and shoulder. A little bit more opening for the heart and chest. I can spiral the heart upwards and even gaze upwards. And then you're gonna take the time to explore this pose and figure out what your body needs today. If you hold a lot of stress in your neck and shoulders, this is a really wonderful pose to help release some of that tension. But it is important that you keep your lower bandhas activated. So Mula Bandha, pelvic floor can be lifting in and up. Uddiyana Bandha, your lower abdominal lock as well. Let's take 1 more breath. So on your inhale, use those muscles, float the arms back up to center. Lift and lengthen, palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart. Interweave all 10 fingers. If you're thinking about it, switch the weave of your fingers. Exhale, push your palms forward. Now this is purposeful rounding of the spine. So now we're going into flexion. So you're drawing the belly in. I can let my chin drop down to the chest. On my inhale, I want to tip my pelvis back forward, create as much length up the back, and draw the head of the arm bones back. As you breathe out, you scoop, tuck, and round. Stretch out all those muscles. Our inhale, we come back to the front of the sit bones, reach the arm bones up, and improve our posture. Take 1 more round, seated cat-cow with more breath. Let's meet back on our inhalation. We'll float our arms up here. Open your hands up. Active twist. So this is the 3rd movement we should do every day for our spine. As you exhale, I want you to use your muscles again and squeeze and twist to your right. Arms may hover parallel or extend towards the opposite knee in the ground. Your head and eyes may follow. Inhale, lift everything back up to center. We'll flow with the breath. Keep this length. Exhale, you're rotating and twisting to your left. Head and eyes can follow. Stretch them out. Inhale, reach up. Again, 1 more time to your right. Open your eyes as wide as you can. Look to that furthest point behind you. Inhale, reach it up. And 1 more nice big twist to your left, keeping your shoulders and chin parallel to the floor. Inhale, everything reaches up. Palms touch, exhale to your heart. So we'll make a transition to tabletop. Those of you that like to crawl forward over your legs, you may do so. Otherwise, just float your knees up, give your legs a stretch, let the blood flow back down to the knees. We will all find ourselves on our yoga mat in a tabletop position. Add extra cushion for your knees and shin bones. If you want the extra cushion and you just have a yoga mat, take the middle of your yoga mat, fold it back 3 to 4 inches, placing your kneecaps on that extra cushion. We are stacking the joints here, shoulders over wrists, and I want your hands spread wide. as wide and broad as your shoulders, and the fingers are nice and wide as well. And I want you pushing into the earth. Try to avoid hyperextending the elbow joint, but use your muscles here. Drishti slightly forward in front of your fingertips so the head doesn't hang. Draw that low belly in to support your back, but the spine is in neutral, and your knees and feet are about hips width apart. Pretend you're holding a tray of wine glasses or whatever you want to balance on your back. Without spilling, extend your right foot back behind you. Now the foot is to the floor, the toes are tucked under, shifting your weight back through that heel to intensify the stretch for the back of the leg. Come back to neutral, squeeze your right side, hover your right leg parallel to the floor. That right foot is actively flexing, toes pointing down, hips nice and level. Left arm can reach forward, palm in, thumb up, spinal integration. This will turn into a balancing pose. Continue to let your breath flow smoothly and evenly in and out through the nose. Big breath in. Exhale, brings hand and knee back down. There should not be a big shift in the body. Stretch the left foot back. Balance your tray on your back. Shift your weight through that heel if you want a little bit more stretching. Be mindful of where your head is in space. Come to neutral, engage your left side to hover your left leg parallel to the floor. Toes pointing straight down to the ground. Option to balance, right arm reaches forward, palm in, thumb up, spinal integration. Try to press down through the first knuckles in your left hand, the hand that's doing the work, to disperse that weight out through the wrist. One more breath. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, tabletop. Let me show you your options in your hands anytime you're bearing weight on your wrists. For some of us, we're still building up that strength in our wrists. Hasta Bandha is a nice option. It doesn't mean that it's easy, but it's a different way to decompress your wrist and strengthen your hands and your forearms. So it's basically like you're holding two big shining apples and you drive your fingertips into the ground. You can also take a strong punching fist and place your knuckles into the ground with the palms facing each other. So flat palms, fingertips, Hasta Bandha, or fists for wrists. Back to our tabletop. Let's flow through a couple rounds of Majariyasana or cat-cow. The inhale relaxes the belly, lifts the tail and the crown of the head. Keep your spine long. Exhale, draw the belly in, scoop the tail. Drishti to your belly button as you round your back. Continue to breathe that breath up and down the back of the body. The inhale breath takes us into extension, really beneficial for bulging discs and to decompress the spine. Your exhale, when you round into flexion, a really great way to release tension of the muscles of the back. So if you want to hold on to one of these a little longer, do so. You may add head, shoulder movements that feel good for your body today. We'll come back to neutral. Let's all visit our first Balasana or child's pose. You know where you want to go right into it. Wide knee child's pose, wonderful option. Knees are wider than your hips. Try to touch the toes together behind you. Sinking the hips down to the heels, melting the heart and the head to the floor. So we'll hold this pose for several breaths, just taking pressure off the wrists. I want to go over a couple modifications and options for you here. Those of you taking care of your knees, take your bath towel. You can roll it up so that's long enough to place behind the creases of your knees so that when you sit back, the back of the knee is still open. Or just keep your hips higher up in the air and come down on your forearms. I do want the head to be releasing towards the ground. If it doesn't easily touch the ground, slide a book or a pillow under your forehead. Or simply stack your fists or your arms under your forehead. Let's all take one more big, big breath in our child's pose. Stretching out the lumbar and the hips. Great pose to do if you're feeling anxious, you have insomnia. So child's pose is really nice to do before bedtime to help ground and calm the mind. Next, inhale, stretch your arms back forward, spread your fingers, hands as wide as your shoulders. We'll float the head and the body back to tabletop. We need to release those knees. Option A, stretch your legs one at a time, back from those hips, keep your back level, use your core. Those of us that are ready, walk your hands about 1 hand's distance forward, tuck your toes under, draw that low belly in, and you can float your hips up, back, and down. Margie. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing doggy pose. Yeah, an upward doggy pose. So, my down dog people. Fingers spread super wide. Hands as broad as your shoulders. There's internal rotation in your hands, so you're rooting through the mound of your index finger and thumb. External rotation, the upper arm bones. So I want you to roll your upper arm bones away from your ears, pulling your shoulder blades down your back. The head is floating between those upper arm bones. The neck is long. Do round in that low belly, Uddiyana Bandha, as you draw the belly back towards your thighs. Broaden your sit bones and draw your thigh bones to the back wall or towards the back of your yoga mat. Bend your knees if you have tightness in the low back. Down dog people, feel free to pedal your heels a couple times here, sinking one heel at a time. Wonderful way to stretch out the backs of the legs. Always go to tabletop or child's pose at any time. Adho Mukha Svanasana is also a gentle inversion, so our head is below the heart. So healthy for our brain, great for our circulation. Just take care if you are taking care of any blood pressure or heart conditions. Let's take one more breath. Moving to Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Inhale, look to your hands, baby step. Walk your feet to your hands, hands to your feet. Feet should be about hips width apart, parallel to each other. Start with a micro bend in the knees, drawing your shin slightly forward. Low back people like me, rest your elbows on your thighs. Otherwise, you can extend the hips up towards the ceiling. Ragdoll, taking hold of your elbows, or just swaying your arms down. The head and neck can drop down. So we're still in an inversion here. So I want you to think about pulling up the Mula Bandha, your pelvic floor root lock, Uddiyana Bandha, your lower abdominals. Pick up your toes in Uttanasana. Super strong quads. So we want the lower half of our body to do the work so that the upper half of the body can release towards the ground. Couple more breaths here. If you're ragdolling, just let the weight of your shoulders and head release. Let the weight of the world melt off your upper body here for a moment. So a little back strengthening. I like to do these in every one of my classes. Really important, especially because we're always in flexion and we're having upper back problems. So this will help prevent the hunchback and our headward fall in the head. So on the inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Float your chest. Fingertips to shins or higher. Extend the crown of the head forward, super strong legs. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale, halfway lift. You're opening the chest. I want you to purposefully engage your shoulder blades towards each other. Exhale, fold. A little bit more power. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Add your arms. Shalabhasana, your arms beside your torso. Stretch your fingertips straight back. Draw the shoulder blades together, palms in. Exhale, fold. Try two more of your variation. Inhale, lifts and lengthens. And exhale. Next time we come up, inhale, halfway lift. Hold here, super strong back. Exhale, we'll sit back into Utkatasana, our invisible chair. Extend your arms forward and up. So Utkatasana. Your feet may be touching, knees together, no problem. If your feet are hips width apart, your knees must track towards the middle of your foot. Arms can be extended, shrug your shoulders away from your ears. Draw in through your lower locks. Let's bring our hands to our heart center. Moving into a little bit of balance here. So everything else feels off balance in our lives right now. Practicing balancing postures on our mat can help us feel a little bit more balanced. So fix your drishti on one spot. Using your muscles, try to hover your right foot from the floor. Just a little bit. Bringing that foot back down. Let's squeeze and try to hover the left foot from the floor. Release, maybe sink a little further down. Utkatasana, fierce pose. On the inhale, draw a big circle down, out, and all the way up. Straighten your legs up. Utthita Tadasana, extended mountain pose. Turn your palms out. Exhale, float the arms back down beside you. Tadasana. Stand nice and tall. Super strong legs. Pick the toes up. Arms can float away from the rib cage slightly. The head is floating on top of the shoulders. Relax your face and your mouth. Take a breath in. Exhale. So we're going to get into more balance here. Make sure you have a safe space around you. You're welcome to move towards the wall if you like. On the inhale, flip your palms back out. Extended mountain. Palms touch. Exhale to center. Palm tree pose. Inhale, reach up. Try to float your heels up this time. On your exhale, you lower the heels and the hands back to the heart. So keep going at your rhythm. You want your eyes to be focused on one spot unless you're intentionally challenging your balance by moving your drishti. Try one more. We'll meet on the exhale, hands to heart, heels down. Open your feet slightly wider than your hips, Tadasana or star pose. You'll shift your weight into your right leg. Engage down through that right leg. Push your foot through the floor. That should make your left side feel a little lighter, so maybe the heel floated up. Lift and lower your toes a couple times. Adding a hover, arms softly float beside the body. Try to hover the foot from the floor. A little bit more power, spread your fingers and toes. Use those muscles to reach out into 4 directions of your room. Head is softly floating on the shoulders. The breath is easy, in and out through the nose. Those of you that come to my classes, you know I like to practice blind balancing. So if you're in a safe space, you can try to blink your eyes. Eventually close your eyes completely. Take the eyes out of the equation. Challenge your brain. Big breath in. Exhale, land as softly as you can back into Tadasana. Avoid fidgeting, keep your focus. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Other side, shift your weight to your left. Push that leg down through the floor, super strong. Right side gets a little lighter, lift and lower the toes. Moving into a hover, try to float the foot and the hands beside you. Stay there, or more power, dimension, spread fingers and toes, extend the body out to the 4 corners of the room. It's okay if you get a breeze blowing you around today, just come back to the pose. Maybe try a little blinking or closing of the eyes. Big breath in. The exhale lands us softly back to Tadasana. Try to maintain your stillness, focus, and concentration. And relax. Okay, so I'm going to have us move back towards the front of your yoga mat if you've shifted yourself around. We'll stand back in a nice tall mountain pose or Tadasana again. Feet hips width or touching. Try not to hyperextend your knees, shins slightly forward, pull up through the thighs. Mula Bandha, pelvic floor engaged. Uddiyana Bandha, lower abdominals engaged. Ears floating over shoulders, shoulders over hips, Tadasana. Inhale, breathing, extended mountain. A little bit of extension. You can take your drishti to your thumbs. Exhale, micro-bend your knees, hinge from your hips, and swan dive back down to your forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. This exhale, plant the hands. Let's all try to take a big step back on our yoga mats into our favorite pose, Chaturanga or plank pose. So if you need to rearrange on your mat, do so. We're gonna hold our plank for 30 seconds. Straight arm, fingers wide, hands as broad as your shoulders. Draw the low belly in. Stretch your tailbone towards your heels. Whole body super active. That can turn into a kneeling plank. Don't sag, push the earth away from you. If you take care of your wrists, drop down to forearm plank. Interweave the fingers, hover, full forearm, or kneeling. And then smile, because we're gonna hold this for 30 seconds. Just 30 seconds. If that fella can do 8 hours, we can do 30 seconds. Extend the crown of the head forward. Bear your weight evenly in both hands or forearms. Left hand, right hand, both hands together. Draw your low ribs into your back body. Lengthen the upper buttocks, again, down towards the heels. Compact your hips. If you want a little bit more intensity, drag your hands to your feet and your feet to your hands. You can do this. I forgot where I started on my watch. So we're gonna keep going here. We got this. Keep squeezing. Your glutes can support you as well. And let's take 1 more, 2 more deep breaths for 3. Margie, come help me. Margie, up dog, 2. This is a long 30 seconds, y'all. 1, big breath in. Exhale, use your core. Float your hips up, back, and down. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Tabletop. Or your child's pose, whatever you want. Take your resting pose. Good job. Heart racing a little bit more. Super wonderful active pose. A plank a day keeps the doctor away, especially those of us taking care of our low back. Really important to build up your core strength. All right, so those of you in down dog, inhale, lift your heels up as high as you can. Stretch out the feet. Your feet should be nice and symmetrical to each other. Look at your toe creases. On the exhale, we're all going to drop down to our knees, sit it back into child's pose again. Knees can stay together. If you want to come all the way off your hands, you can slide the hands back to your feet and then bow the head forward. Take a breath there. To come up, hands underneath the shoulders, tuck your chin. Articulate the spine, vertebra by vertebra, restacking the spine. Or transition through tabletop. Shift your hips to one side and bring your feet forward. So we are going to come down onto our backs at this point. I want you to have space behind you to lie down. Low back people, those of you that know me, you know I take care of my low back. Safest way to come onto your back is to roll to one side. Use your hands. Come down, find your back, and hang out and wait for us here. You can have your baby, massage your back, whatever you want. Those of us that want to work on a little bit more core, you can, but we'll just use our fingertips. You can add a weight or a block, but we won't worry about it. So you'll bring the soles of the feet to the ground. Your knees can fall wider than your hips here. There is going to be this scooping action and rounding in of the belly. I could use Marge as a word. Oh, okay, not. I guess not. Reach your fingertips forward. We're trying to come down one vertebra at a time. So pull the belly up, reach. So you're moving through your sacrum, then the lumbar. There's going to be a point in time where gravity really wants to be your best friend. You got to try to fight through that. And then thoracic, shoulder blades, eventually the head. When your head touches down, float your knees up, extend your heels forward, flex your feet, extend your arms overhead, and stretch it all out. So you can let the abs stretch here, your rib cage, low back, and gently arch from the floor. Spread your fingers, spread your toes. Big breath in. Exhale. Float your arms down. Walk your feet in. Adjust your clothing. If you have ponytails, you need to adjust those as well. Center of the skull to the ground. Shoulders take the weight of the body. Pull your knees in, massage your back. All right, so I'm going to try to wrap things up by 2 o'clock. So let's just do a couple more postures here, supine, and then I'm going to lead us through a shavasana. So waterfall pose, extend both legs up to the ceiling, point and flex your feet, massage your hamstrings. Another gentle inversion here, another pose that helps with anxiety, depression, stress, and insomnia, called legs up the wall. You can always slide your legs up the wall at night in the bedroom to help prepare the mind and body to sleep. And important to stretch your hamstrings for low back issues. Supta Konasana. Open your legs as wide as they'll go. Support the weight of the legs with your hands. Roll your ankles. This is a big stretch for the groin and inner thigh muscles, so be mindful. You can move your hands to the inside and massage here. Moving to happy baby, take a hold of the toes and outside of the feet or thighs. You can rock here. Some people like to extend one leg at a time as you rock it side to side. Maybe both legs again. Release the legs, squeeze, use your muscles back to waterfall pose. Bend your knees into the heart, feet parallel. Reach your arms out from your shoulders, palms down to help ground. Squeeze the knees together. Exhale, lower them together over to your right. Great time to slide a pillow or some blankets underneath that right thigh if you want support. Your feet might even hover. Drop your shoulders into the ground, close the eyes, and just breathe. Your inhale will bring your head and your knees, maybe one at a time, back to center. You might drop the feet and shift before your other side. Squeeze the knees and the feet. Exhale, legs to your left. Use your props. Sink your right shoulder into the ground. Close the eyes. Take a couple deep breaths here. Just wring everything out. Your twists help release the muscles of the back. They massage our internal organs. It's like taking a washcloth and just squeezing out all that tension and stress. Let it go. When you feel balanced, head and knees come back to center. From here, try to wrap your arms around your shin bones. Nose can draw up towards your knees, giving our body a nice, big, loving hug. Filling ourselves up with gratitude today for everything that we've done for ourselves and for others. Take a big breath in. On your exhale, release, relax, flop the body to the floor. We're moving into our final relaxation. You are welcome to take whatever pose you want. I would recommend supporting the head with either a small pillow, a folded blanket, or a towel. If you have a little bit bigger of a pillow, or you want to take a blanket and roll it up to place behind your knees. You can. Come to me. So you can do a combination of things. If you have washcloths or eye pillows and you want to use those, once you start to place yourself in a comfortable position, you want to loosen everything up. Rock the head out, find the very back center of your skull. Drawing the shoulders down, out, or under. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, let your arms fall down beside the body, palms up, fingertips can curl in and up. Again, legs in any comfortable position, even the knees bent up to the ceiling and together, feet flopping open. I'm going to verbally guide us through some relaxation here, and then I'm going to allow us to relax silently for several minutes, and then I will use my singing bowl to bring us out of Shavasana, where we will finish our practice together today. So eyes are closing, relaxing. Make all those adjustments in the beginning so that you can find stillness in the end. Feel the weight of the back of the head sink into the ground or your pillow or prop. Smoothing the skin of the forehead and the brow. Relax the eyebrow center. Let the eyeballs sink into the sockets. Relax the cheeks. You can poof your cheeks, wiggle out the mouth, the tongue, the jaw. With the lips softly touching, try to release the tongue into the lower palate and the lower jaw to gravity. Relax the throat, the center of the heart, the chest. Feel the weight of the arms flop down into the ground as you relax from your shoulders to your elbows, elbows to wrists. Soften the centers of the palms. Let the fingertips curl up naturally. Relax all the way down the back of the body, vertebra by vertebra. The back of the heart, the low back, the sacrum. Relax around the rib cage and the waist. Soften the belly completely. All of the abdominal muscles, the internal organs. And then relax the larger muscles of the hips, the hip sockets, the buttocks, the tops and backs of the thighs. And just like water, let that relaxation continue to flow down the legs, through the knees, into the ankles and the feet. Soften the soles of the feet. Relax the toes and the space between the toes. Relax the whole body. Soften and relax the inside of the body. The breath is easy, quiet, and calm. If the mind wanders or becomes distracted, gently bring it back to the peaceful breath. And for just one more moment of today, we give ourselves permission to let go. Feel a sense of surrender and sink into Shavasana. So very gently come back to the breath. Start to breathe life back into the body, waking up the toes, the fingertips. A gentle rock of the head side to side, a roll of the ankles and the wrists. Extending the arms overhead one more time, stretching the whole body out. Spread the fingers, spread the toes. Stretch out your whole right side. Stretch out your whole left side. Margie did Shavasana with us. As you exhale, walk your feet in. Hug those knees in. Float your hands to your knees. Massage the back. Traditionally, we pause on our right-hand side in Supta Balasana. Roll to either side that's most comfortable. If you're rolling to the right, right arm falls beside the head. Rolling over into that fetal position, cradling the head on the arm, and the left hand falls to the floor in front of the heart, pausing here. Taking time to reflect on our practice, and maybe setting another positive intention or mantra to take with us off of our mat into our day. Keep the eyes soft or closed, turn the heart to the ground, stretch the top leg and push down to bring the body back up. Revisiting any comfortable seated posture. Sit up nice and tall to the crown of the head. Finishing our practice with just a couple more big breaths together. Extend the arms out from beside the body, turn the palms up. Big breath into the nose. Let's float those arms all the way up towards the ceiling, and let's gather up everything we need for the rest of our day. Turn your palms out. Even bigger exhale, float the arms all the way back down to the ground and letting go of all that other junk we don't need. And let's take one more big breath in together. Inhale those arms up, fill yourself up. Palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart, Anjali Mudra. Humbly bow the head down to the heart to honor and thank ourselves and our bodies for our practice today. And remember to be grateful and thankful to anyone else in our life that made it possible for us to practice like this today. Om Shanti 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 Om. Peace, peace, peace. And I thank each and every one of you that might have joined me today. Totally terrifying, but I had my little doggy friends here to help me out. It was fun. I'm glad I got to see some of you check in. So maybe we'll do this again. I am working on recording some videos. So if you have requests you want to share, kids yoga, prenatal yoga, chair yoga, gentle yoga, flow yoga, meditation, pranayama, you know the deal. So I'm at www.yogitayoga.org. Come here, Margie, say goodbye. Waiting. So check in. Let me know where you were checking in from. So nice to have you all. Have a wonderful day. And maybe see you again soon. Bye, everybody. Breathe. Who's not coming? All right, bye.